Bismillahi walhamdulillahi assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers. Today inshallah we will try our best to complete our study of Surah Kahf and go through ayah numbers from 83 until 110. We have many ayahs to cover, so let's start directly into today's lesson. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Starting from ayah number 83. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ قُلْ سَأَتْلُو عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْهُ ذِكْرًا. And they ask you about Dhul Qarnayn. So the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was getting asked different questions from the mushriks of Makkah as well as the Jews and the Christians, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, via his revelations, obviously is also answering all the questions. In terms of that, to facilitate Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in bringing out his dawah of Islam. So one of the stories is about Dhul Qarnayn. Say, I will recite to you about him a remembrance or a story. So let me tell you the story of Dhul Qarnayn and what happened to him and what he did. Inna makkanna lahu fil ardi wa atainahu min kulli shay'in sababa. Indeed, we established for him in the earth and we gave him of a means of everything. So it is being said by Islamic scholars, he was a very powerful ruler who believed in oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he established justice wherever he went and his kingdom spanned from the west to the east, as we will also see in this story as we go through it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him means of everything, meaning he was a very powerful ruler. فَأَتْبَعَ sababa, so he followed a course. Now he started to move in a direction, and we will get to know that this is west. He started to move towards the west. حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ مَغْرِبَ الشَّمْسِ وَجَدَهَا تَغْرُبُ فِي عَيْنٍ حَمِئَةٍ وَوَجَدَ إِنْدَهَا قَوْمًا, until when he reached the settling place of the sun, and the sun sets on the west, so settling place of the sun, he found it setting in a spring of dark mud, and he found near it a community, and there were people living in this direction when he went. قُلْنَا يَا ذَا الْقَرْنَيْنِ إِمَّا أَن تُعَذِّبَ وَإِمَّا أَن تَتَّخِذَ فِيهِمْ حُسْنًا. We said, O Dhul Qarnayn, either that you punish or you take them in with goodness. So this, because he had power, he had authority. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him power and authority. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him now what you will do with these people, because it's like he is moving from a place to a place, and now when he's reaching to the new place, because he is powerful, so these people are at his mercy, meaning they are waiting his decision, what he'll decide for them. قَالَ أَمَّا مَنْ ظَلَمَ فَسَوْفَ نُؤَذِّبُهُ ثُمَّ يُرَدُّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ فَيُعَذِّبُهُ عَذَابًا نُكْرًا. He said, as for the one who wrongs, then soon we will punish him, then he will be returned to his Lord and he will punish him with a terrible punishment. Look at the clarity of the thought. So he said, anybody who is doing wrong, who is going against the guidance, they will be punished in this world, and once they die, they will reach their Lord will give them, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them an even more punishment, a severe punishment. And for the other people who are doing good, وَأَمَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَلَهُ جَزَاءً الْحُسْنَى. But as for the one who believes and does righteous deeds, then for him is a good reward. وَسَنَقُولُ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِنَا يُسْرًا. And we will speak to him from ease, with ease our command, and we will make the matters easy for such a person who is doing righteous deeds. So this was the justice that he established in his entire kingdom as he moved towards conquering land towards the west. So this shows us that he had a tremendous power, yet he is establishing the justice of Islam. And that is one of the main objectives of spreading Islam. It's not like some of the people say that, Islam was spread by force, Islam was spread by sword and all of this. No, it's not like you force people to convert to Islam. The point is that you establish the justice system of Islam. that those who are cruel people, who are oppressing the poor or weak people, they should be punished. And those people who are good, they should flourish in a society. And then you have to inspire, being Muslims, you have to inspire people to Islam. You don't have to force any conversion. So that is a very important clarity that all of us should have. Moving forward, Summa Adba Sababa. Then he followed a course. Now he started to move towards a different direction. Hatta Iza Balaga Matliya Shamsi, until when he reached the rising place of the sun. That means he was moving now towards the east side. Wajadaha tatlu'u ala qawmin lam naj'al lahum min duniha sitra. Until when he reached the rising place of the sun, and he found rising on a community, and we did not make for them against any shelter. So this tells us that this community was still living in like the primitive ways, like the basic ways. They did not even have roof on top of their heads. So when the sun used to rise, it used to shine upon them. And the community, the way it would have been built is, we can assume that it had walls as separations, but still they did not have any proper roof to protect themselves. For them as well. So when he moved towards the east now, for them as well, كذلك, thus, وَقَدْ أَحَتْنَا بِمَا لَدَيْهِ خُبْرًا, and verily we encompassed of what was with him of the information. So كذلك, here the word كذلك also means thus for them as well, the same matter was decided. Just like previously, he decided for good people will be rewarded, while for people who are doing wrong, or oppressing other people, or who are cruel, they will be punished, and they will get the punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. So same was the matter that was decided for the people of the east as well, on this side as well. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us this story, and he has shared all of this information about Zulqarnain and how he was doing his stuff in this, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sharing this story, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows all the matter, and it is between him and whatever happened at that point in time, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has absolute knowledge. So he's encompassing all the information. Now here we have been shared with the story and parts of the story. So this is something that we need to take lessons from. One of the key lessons that we will discuss a bit later is that you will see how he went about his ways. So Summa Atba Sababa, then he followed a course again. And this time he reached another place. Hatta idha balaga bayna saddaini wajada min dunihima qawma la yakaduna yafqahuna qawla. Until when he reached between the two mountains, he found besides them a community who would almost not understand his speech, because obviously people speak different languages in different lands. So now he's going in between two mountains where there used to be a community or people who were living there as well. And they were probably speaking a different language, and now they tried to speak with him as well. قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن ياجوج وماجوج مفسدون في الأرض فهل نجعل لك خرجا على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا. They said, O Zulqarnain, indeed Yajuj and Majuj are corruptors in the land. So we make you, for any expenditure on you make between us and between them, a barrier. Now the request that they are making is like, imagine like a valley which is covered on it has in between there is a way to reach that valley, and you have mountains on both sides. The people are saying the Yajuj and Majuj, they were considered to be creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they used to disrupt the life of those people where Zulqarnain reached. And those people are now requesting that, we will give you all the money that is needed, but please help us, we are weak, help us to build a strong wall so that these Yajuj and Majuj cannot come and enter our place and destroy us or do mischief and whatever they used to do. So what happened then after that? One of the explanations that is given for Yajuj and Majuj, Gog and Magog, they're also termed like this, is there is a detailed account about them in Tafsir Al-Qurtubi, narrated Zainab bint Jahsh, that one day Allah's messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered upon her in a state of fear, and he said, La ilaha illallah, no one has the right to be worshipped but Allah. Woe to the Arabs from the great evil that has approached them. Today, a hole has been opened in the dam of Yajuj and Majuj. So we will learn about it that Zulqarnain eventually built that wall that separated them. So within that wall, the Holy Prophet said that there has been a hole that has been built on that wall between Yajuj and Majuj. Like this, the Prophet ﷺ made a circle with his index finger and a thumb. Like this, he made like a circle and a thumb. Zainab bint Jash added, I said, O Allah's Messenger, ﷺ, shall we be destroyed through there will be righteous people amongst us? So she said that if they come in and they are overflowing that wall and they reach our places, then all of us will get destroyed, even that we have good people amongst us. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, yes, if al-khabath, evil persons increased, if in a society or in the society, even of Arabs or in a particular society, if the number of evil person exceeds, then yes, all of them can be destroyed. The word al-khabath is interpreted as illegal sexual intercourse and illegitimate children and every kind of evil deed. And we know today as well, in a lot of so-called Muslim countries and Muslim societies as well, these evils are existing. So these sort of sins people are performing, and there is zina that is happening, and there are children who are born out of marriage, because the right way in Islam is that you should do nikah with a female or a male, and they should be like proper declared publicly husband and wife, and then they can start a family and then they can have children. It should not be just to fulfill your desires and getting into the illegal way of zina. So illegal sexual intercourse and illegitimate children, and every kind of evil deed is defined as al-khabath. And now we can interpret and we can look around in our societies how these evils are spreading. So moving forward, Qala, now the response of Zulqarnain to to the people who asked him to build that wall. Qala ma makkanni fihi rabbi khairun fa'ai nuni biquwwatin aj'al bainakum wa bainahum radma. He said, what has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has established for me in this world is better. So I have all the means, I don't need your money. But assist me with strength, so I may need people. I will make between you and between them a barrier. Imagine two mountains, in between there is a valley, and now there is a wall that has to be built that should not get penetrated by a group of people who are creating mischief. So Zulqarnain said, I have all the means, I will bring in all my money, all my wealth. However, I will need people power, I will need labor. I would need people support from you, so that together we can build this strong wall so that Yajuj and Majuj cannot enter. And this was the same wall that the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was referring to, and it appeared that he was a bit afraid that there is a hole that has been made in that wall during that time when he explained it. And then he said that, that wall will be broken on the day when people get into mischief, and all the evil deeds that we just discussed about, they start to happen. Aduni zabar al hadid, bring me sheets of iron. Now look at the strength of this wall. He said, Atuni zabar al hadid, bring me sheets of iron. Hatta iza sawa bainas sadafaini qalan fuhu. Until when he had leveled between the two cliffs. So they brought in sheets of iron, and between the two cliffs, in between with which the valley was, that pathway, they blocked it with those sheets of iron sheets. Then he said, blow, hatta iza ja'alahu nara, until when he made fire. So they started making fire and making those sheets of iron hot, so that they can melt and they can combine together and form a very strong wall. Qala atuni ufrig alayhi qitra. He said, bring me, I pour over it molten copper. So once that iron had melted and those sheets has become a solid wall, on top, to strengthen it further, they put in molten copper over it in order to give it more strength and turn it into a solid wall that cannot be easily broken. فَمَسْتَعُوا أَن يَزْهَرُوهُ وَمَسْتَطَاعُوا لَهُ نَقْبًا. So they were not able to scale it, and they were not able to do any penetration. After that wall was formed, Yajuj and Majuj and their nation, or those creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they were not able to cross that wall because it was huge. made of iron, melted iron sheets, and then on top poured hot copper was poured on them. So they were not able to penetrate, and this way the problem of those people were solved. قَالَ هَذَا رَحْمَةٌ مِّن رَبِّي. He said, this is a mercy from my Lord. Look at that guy. He is powerful. He's strong. Yet he is not becoming arrogant. He's not saying, look at the amazing wall that I created and now no one can penetrate. No, he said, this is a mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَإِذَا جَاءَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي جَعَلَهُ دَكَّا. But when comes the promise of my Lord, he will make it level. Again, it will be broken, he told them. وَكَانَ وَعَدُ رَبِّي حَقًّا. And the promise of my Lord is true. And from what we know from the previous hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, already the whole was created at that point in time. And he said, when these evils in the society, like illegal sexual intercourse or illegitimate children, will increase, or any other evil deed will increase, then that wall will be broken. And we, as we discussed earlier, we can look around in our societies, everything that is happening. So here Zulqarnain said that, the promise of my Lord will come true whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills. It will be leveled and they will be able to penetrate and cause mischief again. So a lesson from us for this story, and a point to note as well. So I wanted to ask you guys, what should we do when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us power? So Zulqarnain was a king and he had that power. What should be our attitude? What should be our mindset when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us power? What do you learn from the previous story? The way Zulqarnain carried all of the actions and the way he's saying things. What do we learn from him? Anyone? Shayan Wasim? Yes, Shayan, please go ahead.
Basically, once you are given power, you have to first realize that once you have the power, you have a big responsibility as well as you have a big position. So once you have power, you should realize that you should use it effectively and that there are people that could benefit or get destroyed by what you do with that power. So that is one main thing.
Jazakallahu khairan, Shayan. Excellent, excellent point. Anyone else? Any other thoughts? Okay, more or less, this is the answer, and this is what I was planning to discuss as well, is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you power, that means that you have authority over people, right? So the important thing is always stay humble and establish justice when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you power. In the initial statements, when Zulqarnain went towards the east and the west, what did he say? He said that those people who are doing wrong, they will be punished now in the world as well as in the hereafter when they go to their Lord. And those people who are doing good, we will reward them and we will talk to them softly and they will be given that room. So basically, this is the justice of Islam. And whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you authority or power over any people, it doesn't mean that you have to be king who's ruling the parts of the world. No, whatever authority Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you and you're deciding for people, you have to understand that this is also a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can turn it into mercy and blessing by utilizing it in a way, in the right way of justice to establish the justice. And you can also become arrogant and lose your way and you start to become cruel and you start crushing people. And he could have, he had power over everyone. He could have said, no, I will, destroy your lands. I will take all your wealth and all of that. So greed and greed can take over you and you can become arrogant. However, this was not the case. This was the main learning for us from that story on how he stayed humble. And even when he created that wall, that was almost, it seemed like impossible to create, but the way he created at the end, he said, this is a mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the mindset that we need to keep. Even when we achieve a big achievement, it should not make us arrogant, but we should stay humble and we should establish justice of Islam, because power and authority are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a test. Moving forward, وَتَرَكْنَا بَعْضَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَمُوجُ فِي بَعْضٍ وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ فَجَمَعْنَاهُمْ جَمَعًا. And we will leave some of them on the day to surge over others, and will be blown in the trumpet, and we will gather them then all together. This is the day of judgment. When the trumpet will be blown, everyone will be collected together in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for accountability. وَعَرَضْنَا جَهَنَّمَ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَرْضًا. and we will present hell on the day to the disbelievers on display. So this is how hell will be given to them, and it will be on display, and they'll be fearful, and they will be fearful because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show it to them, and at that point in time people will be in their utmost regret. They will be regretting, why did I do the wrong things that I did? Because now is the hellfire. This was promised from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from hellfire. Allahumma janni minan nar. We should continue reciting this dua that we also learned in our previous lessons. Nillazina kanat a'yunuhum fi ghita'in an zikri wa kanu la yastati'una sama. Those had been, their eyes were within a cover, so they could not see the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from my remembrance. So their eyes were covered, they could not even see the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and remember and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they were not able to hear. So although these messages were being given to them, they were listening to these messages, however they were not hearing. So when you hear something and you don't take action, and when knowledge reaches you and when you don't take action, it is the same as someone who is deaf. So regardless, I mean, they're not doing anything about it. So what's the point of that knowledge? So those people are the ones who will be the ultimate losers, and their eyes, it seems like they would be covered, and they would be deaf, as in they did not hear when good message was given to them related to the guidance. Afa hasibal ladina kafaru an yattakhizu ibadi min duni awliya. Do then bring those who disbelieve that then they can take my servants beside me as protectors. So these are the people who rely on other people and those are also servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So sometimes people are blindly following people, even against the guidance or for the guidance. And this is also a reference, and we learned later in the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that some of the people, the Jews and the Christians, were following their scholars, their rabbis, their scholars and their priests, and not taking the message. They were thinking, no, these are our real guides, and they were taking protectors against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna atadna jahannama lil kafirina nuzula. Indeed, we have prepared hell for the disbelievers as a lodging, as a living place, and they will live in it forever. So Almighty Allah says, they, Jews and Christians, took their rabbis and their monks to be their lords besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by obeying them in things that they made lawful or unlawful according to their own desires without being ordered by Allah. We know that Torah was changed. We know Injil was changed. So the rabbis and the monks of the Jews and the Christians respectively, they were making their own laws. They were not following their books correctly, and they had almost changed the books for many years. So now they were making their own laws. So this is like bringing them in parallel to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a guidance that is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is lawful, what is unlawful, while these people are creating their own kingdoms within themselves. So for the Jews and Christians, of course, this is core for the Jews and the Christians. However, this also applies to some of the Muslims as well, because sometimes people follow Islamic scholars blindly, who sometimes can also misguide people. Anyways, so by obeying them in things that they made lawful or unlawful according to their own desires without being ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they also took as their Lord Messiah, son of Maryam, while they, Jews and Christians, were commanded in the Torah and Injil to worship none but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they were guided to worship in both the original forms of Torah and Injil, to worship no one but one ilah, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. None has the right to be worshipped but He. Glorified is He, far above He from having the partners they associate with Him. Once, while Allah's Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was reciting the above verse, Adi bin Hatim said, O Allah's Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they do not worship them rabbis and monks. So somebody asked them, it's not like they're worshipping, sitting in front of them, praying in front of them. They're not really truly worshipping them. Then the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained the meaning, why is it being said that they are worshipping them. Allah's Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, they certainly do. So he said, yes, they do worship them. How? They, that is the rabbis and the monks, made legal things illegal and illegal things legal, and they, that is the Jews and the Christians, their followers, they followed them. And by doing so, they really worshipped them, because one definition of worshipping someone is to follow them, to follow their guidance. So as Muslims, we take the guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Quran, and as explained to us in the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and how he exemplified it or showed us how to do it in his sunnah. So we cannot take anyone else who is creating stuff, or, and that we will see later on, it will come in the ayahs, the inventions that they make in the religion. So even amongst Muslims, sometimes the scholars are misguiding people by telling them stuff other than Quran and the hadith and sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this hadith is making it very clear for us that we have to stick to the guidance that has come in the form of Quran and the hadith and sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Moving forward, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, do then they think, those who disbelieve, that they can take my servants besides me as protectors? So this was the description, especially for Jews and Christians, and we can also take a learning from it in terms of following any scholar who is misguiding. So if you look at this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling those people disbelievers because they are not following his guidance. They are following guidance of his servants, because these people, the monks and the priests and the rabbis, they were also servants of Allah. All of us are servants of Allah. We are his creation, right? So don't be a disbeliever. Don't take anyone as your protector besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a clear action that is coming for us from this ayah. Don't take anyone as your protector besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's slave. Establish direct connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be our only savior and protector. Yes, we can take help from someone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this network of people around us. We have a life, we have network of people. We can ask someone to do something for us and all of this. But in your mind, you should only think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only protector and savior. There is no one else who can save you. There is no one else who can provide you your risk, because many of you will start your life and you will start to do your jobs and everything. You should be clear that who's the provider of risk, who's the protector. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you establish your connection 5 times a day during prayer, and you reach out to him and you ask him for help. And then later on, yes, you can move around in this world, and you can move and you can utilize the sources that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us within this world and the network of people that we have. But in our mind, we should be clear. We cannot blindly follow a person who himself is a slave. All these priests, monks, rabbis, the Islamic scholars, everyone is a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot follow someone blindly without understanding the guidance of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah and the Hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Moving forward, قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا. Say, shall we inform you of the greatest losers as to their deeds? This is a very, very important ayah, and I need everybody's 200% attention, please. So I want you, all of you, to really focus on the upcoming slides. This is very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as these revelations are coming down, قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا. Say, shall we inform you of the greatest losers as related to their deeds? Who are the people who are doing some deeds or good deeds, but still they are greatest losers? Very, very important. الَّذِينَ ظَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. Those is lost in their effort. So their effort is lost in the life of this world, while they think that they were acquiring good in work. So these are the people who are lost in this world and focusing on the life of this world while doing some good things, and they must be thinking that we are doing some good deeds. However, they are the greatest losers. So basically, who will tell me who are the biggest losers, and who can explain this to me? We just read it 30 seconds before. Anyone? Who are the biggest losers? who are the biggest losers? We just read about them. Anyone? Those whose effort is for this life only, for the life of the world, while they think in their mind, they're doing a lot of great stuff. They're doing very good work. So these are the people who are the biggest losers. Those whose all effort is for the life of this world. They just go after the life of this world. And to go after the life of this world, of course, money is, or wealth is something that is needed, right? Because then you need a great house and a nice car, and you need everything to be rich and wealthy. And so their focus is just to get money, and their focus is the life of this world, while they think they're also doing some good deeds. They are good, they appear good, they may be doing some charity, they may be helping people. However, their main primary focus is this world. So the primary focus in this world's life, while by the way, they do some good deeds on the way, and maybe they do some good deeds to show off people, to say that, people should say, such a good character, he's such a nice person, and look at him, he just gave in so much in charity, he's helping so many people. And they really want people to talk good about them, and they feel good. So they're not doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but just to show off. And we will see a hadith related to this as well. This is a very, very important topic. And there is a very fine line, because sometimes you can say, you're spending out of your 24 hours, you're spending almost 20 hours out of that just thinking about this world. How can I be, what should I do? Which job should I get? How can I get promoted in my job? How can I expand my business? If I have one factory, how can I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 factories? If I have one house, one plot, how can I get many, many, many more? So all of this material focus of people only multiplying and thinking about this world, while on the side, they are doing Hajj, Umrah every year, and they're doing charity, they're giving zakat in Ramadan, and they're probably showing off people and all of this. But they can be the biggest losers in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we saw. So there is I hope I have attention from everyone, because this is a very, very important point that I'm about to make. You all will be, inshallah, starting your life. You'll be starting your jobs. You'll be earning your money. Some of you are maybe having some jobs already. And some of you may be doing your own businesses. So you will generate a lot of money, and inshallah, a lot of wealth. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you with all the prosperity and the best of risk in this world and in the hereafter as well. Ameen. So you will be earning a lot of money. So this is a very good test for you to check if you are amongst those biggest losers as well. Because what happens is that, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says love of this life, also means love for money, that obviously gets you everything in this life, right? Money and wealth gets you nice cars, nice houses, big and a hefty bank balance where you have, a lot of money, and we like to keep some safety, and we like to save as well for the future and all of these things. So love of this life means that you love money, and it is where, and for people, generally the waswasa of shaitan is, whenever you would want to spend it on evil thing or something bad, he won't even realize, he won't make you realize. But whenever you're about to help someone, he will put a waswasa in your mind. Oh, wait, you still have to pay the fees of your kid, or you still have to do this, and this may happen, and save it for the future, and how come you're giving so much away and all of that. So this is the waswasa of shaitan. Whenever you're spending, people spend lavishly on marriages with music, multiple events and these things, and they're putting in this pot of money to get married and all of that. So nothing, it doesn't even bother them. But if somebody comes to you and they're asking for a loan or something, or somebody comes to you, then they're saying, we have disease in the family, please help us. That's when you realize, oh my God, I have to pay the bills, and I have to, no. And then you try to help them minimally. So the love of this life also means love for money that gets every material thing, right? So one of the tests for yourself is, maybe once you get older, and once you start to earn your own money, and you have your job, and you're doing business, whatever you are doing to earn money, try giving significant amount of money away that really feels something. I'm not saying if you have, let's say, 1 million rupees, and you try to give someone, or dollars or reals, whatever, and you try to give someone 100 out of it, of course you won't feel it. It won't even put a dent, anything, right? So if somebody comes to you for help, or if somebody is asking for a loan, or if somebody is asking you for money, sometimes try giving it when you have also limited, so that it not, I don't want to use the word hurt, but it also puts a dent in your wallet. Try to give it away. or something that is precious for you. You really like something, try giving it away as well, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or if you have given a loan to someone, try to, pardon part of it. Or, if you can, just let go of it as well. So these are the things that are a true test. Or don't even ask for it. Let's say you gave money to someone and somebody is supposed to return it. And if you don't have a need, then you can give them more time and give them more time and give them more time. So the point is, sacrifice some money. This is a test. This will tell you about your own self, if you truly love money, or you love pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by helping others with money or material things or material objects. Right? So I hope you guys get the point. This will be a great test for you to understand if you are a person who's just focusing on the life of this world and you want to keep everything to yourself and turn away people and everything, or if you are a person who thinks about others and who thinks about pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the reward of the hereafter as well. And of course, we also know in our religion and in Islam, we are being taught, it's not like that you give everything away and then you yourself become destitute. No, you have to have other means. So you should help people. But the point is, try to test yourself as well in terms of giving to other people. So I hope this point is clear. The final thing is, as an action for us, is don't be the biggest loser. Those whose all the effort is for the life of this world while they think they are doing good deeds. Very important point, and this can be a deception from shaitan as well. So we should continue to check ourselves as well. I hope this point is clear. Moving forward. Sahih Hadith related to this ayah, and this will also introduce something, another angle of this ayah. So let's go through it. For the acceptance of the righteous deeds, it is stipulated that the following two basic conditions must be fulfilled. Now, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says righteous deeds, those that will be accepted from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, two conditions should be met. Number one, the intention while doing such a deed must be totally for Allah's sake, only without any show off or to gain praise or fame. Very, very important. It should not be like you're helping someone taking a selfie. I'm here and I'm doing this relief effort and taking a selfie, and these many we are sending these tons of goods and this tons of this, and I just gave in this and all of that. No, it should be only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are not allowed to show off or gain praise from others. If your intention to tell other people is that they will think, oh my God, how amazing this person is, then this is not a righteous deed. Clearly saying the intention should be totally for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's condition number one to qualify as a righteous deed. Number two, such a deed must be performed in accordance with the sunnah of Allah's messenger Muhammad bin Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the last of the prophets and the messengers. It is very, very important that we follow the sunnah of the Holy Prophet. Why? Because sometimes people exaggerate stuff. Sometimes people add stuff. Sometimes things get added even as part of religion. Oh, we should do this, like this, like this. Did you check why? No. Is there a sunnah or hadith? I'm not sure. But still, I've seen people doing this, so this is good. A lot of the things in Islam, as it spread, a lot of different cultures got added. And there are a lot of cultural things that got added from different religions or different cultures into Islam. We need to be sure what's the guidance, what's the sunnah, what's the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then implement it on our lives. So look at the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Narrated Aisha radhiyallahu ta'ala anha, Allah's Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if somebody innovates something which is not present in our religion of Islamic monotheism, Islam, then that thing will be rejected. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. Even if you're doing something with good intention, it will be rejected. In another hadith narrated Aisha radhiyallahu ta'ala anha, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever performs a good deed which we have not ordered anyone to do, or is it not in according with our religion of Islamic monotheism, then that deed will be rejected and will not be accepted. This is again Sahih al-Bukhari. So innovations in religion, adding things to in religion, this is not something that is encouraged. Because the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the best example for us to follow in terms for us to become a practicing and a better Muslim every day. And he's the last of the Prophets, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who completed the Sharia, who gave us the guidance as individuals as well as a society. So we should not deviate and add stuff even on top of it, which is also called bid'ah or innovation in our religion. So a very core and a very important point to note and an action for us: don't invent things in Islam. In our societies, a lot of innovations have been added to Islam. What is a simple rule? The simple rule is the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a living example of what to do and what not to do. Just follow his hadith and sunnah. That's it. Follow the guidance in Quran. And if you need explanation, which you will need, which is why the Holy Prophet obviously explained to us in his hadith and sunnah as an examples of things that he showed us how to do. So, and he did, he managed everything from every walk of life: how to manage your family life, how to manage your social life, how to manage your family, your wife, your kids, your grandkids, your relatives, your companions, your friends, your society, as a government, as a ruler, financial, everything, every detail is captured, that is covering all angles of our life. So it's not like you can say, but what about, this and that. So, and even for the specifics, you can relate it back to the hadith and the sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is a very, very important action, again related to the same ayah number 104. Moving forward. أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فحبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا. Those are the ones who disbelieve. So who are those in ayah number 4? Who are their primary focus is the life of this world, and they are not, while they think in their mind that they are doing such good stuff, we are so pious, and we are such good character, and people should also know and talk about us how pious we are and everything else. These are the people who are wasting their deeds. Those are the ones who disbelieve in the verses of their Lord and the meeting with him. So they don't even believe that they will meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. So their deeds are in vain. They will get lost. They will not even be counted. We will not assign for them on the day of resurrection any weight. The deeds will not have a weight in the balance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he is giving us the good deeds and he's weighing them. These will be weightless deeds because their focus was this world, not to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not to follow the sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These are the two conditions that we just read that fulfill that it is a righteous deed. Moving forward. ذَلِكَ جَزَاؤُهُمْ جَهَنَّمُ بِمَا كَفَرُوا وَاتَّخَذُوا آيَاتِ وَرُسُلِي هُزُوًا. That is their recompense, which is hell, because they disbelieved and took my verses and my messengers in ridicule. Because when you take someone in ridicule, when you don't believe them, right? You make fun of them. Taking them in ridicule means they make fun of them. He's not important, so you ridicule them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if you live your life like that, and if you're not truly doing the righteous deeds the way it should be done for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in line with the guidance and the hadith and the sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then you are ridiculing the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you're ridiculing the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ كَانَتْ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ الْفِرْدَوْسِ نُزُلًا. Indeed, those who believed and did righteous deeds, for them will be gardens of the paradise as a lodging, meaning as a living place. They will have gardens of paradise. So now coming to the people who are truly believing in the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who are truly doing the righteous deeds for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for them will be gardens of paradise and they will be living there as a lodging. So that will be a living place for them. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا لَا يَبْغُونَ عَنْهَا حِوَالًا. Abiding forever in it. They will not desire that they should be moved away from it. It will be such an amazing resting place. The gardens of paradise, we cannot even imagine, by the way. Sometimes the descriptions that we read are according to our own thinking. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us to think and how the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained to us the gardens and the paradise and heaven. This is according to how we can perceive them right now. However, what the actual experience will be is something that cannot be comprehended by any human being. because that is a gift that is awaiting for the believers from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Jannatul Firdaus. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those people who will enter paradise. Ameen. قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفذ البحر قبل أن تنفذ كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا. Say, if the sea were the ink for the words of my Lord, surely it would be exhausted. The sea would be exhausted before the words of my Lord were exhausted. And even if you brought a similar sea, another sea, and you created ink and start to fill up pens, then still the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not get exhausted. Such is the knowledge, such is the wisdom, such is the width of knowledge and the breadth of knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the breadth of guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has for us. One of the examples of this thing about the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the guidance is the unlimited exploration that you can still do in this world. Every day there are new discoveries in our universe, even amongst the seas under our control. Fine, you can say universe is so far away, the galaxies and everything, we can continue to find knowledge and we can explore, and we are trying to reach there. But what about what is within our world, what is encompassing in our world? Yes, we know what is happening in the forests and Amazon and everything. So on the land and in the sea, still scientists are getting amazed by the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the phenomena and the systems that are there, even related to one creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, an eagle, a horse, a bee, the lives that they're living, the ants, a lot of these things, fish and everything that is part of the sea life, the flora and the fauna that are living. I mean, it's unimaginable, the knowledge there, and it's we cannot encompass. So of course, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the kalimas and the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are almost unlimited. This is what is what is being highlighted here, that the words will never finish, even if you fill up pens with inks worth the size of a sea, and if you bring another sea, then you cannot even fill them up. The last ayah for the surah, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُحْيَا إِلَيَّ أَنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. Say, only I am a man like you, and it has been and the guidance from your Lord has been revealed to me. The Lord who is one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is one Lord and one Allah, meaning we worship only one Allah. We believe He is our only protector. We believe He is our only provider. This again is re-emphasizing the point where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that those people are disbelievers who think that they can take another slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as their protector, and they are worshipping them like they should actually do Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a messenger and a man like us, and it has been revealed to him. And we also learned it previously that there were a lot of arguments from the chiefs of Makkah that how come the revelation came to you and you are a man like us and everything else. Obviously, if an angel would have come and the guidance would have been for the angels, then they would have said, oh, they are angels, they are too pious, they cannot even make a mistake, how can we follow an angel and everything. So obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a messenger like us as human, who could show us how to follow that guidance and exemplify it for us. And that's what exactly the last Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did via his hadith, which is the explanations, and sunnah, which is the examples of how we should live our lives. فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. So whoever is hoping for the meeting with his Lord, let him do the righteous deeds and do not associate in the worship of his Lord anyone. We just got the definition of righteous deeds in the previous hadith when we were going in the previous explanation and the hadith. Righteous deeds are the ones that are done only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to show off others. No selfies, nothing like that, just to show others how great you are in giving charity or helping others or whatever you are doing. It should be solely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other condition is there should be no innovation, no invention. It should be in line with the sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And everything, and when you follow the sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam automatically becomes the righteous deeds for you. So that's a very simple rule for us, that anything that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us in his hadith and sunnah, we should simply follow it. It's a very simple rule. So this marks the end of this amazing surah. We went and we learned through a lot of lessons in it, and I hope everything is clear. Before we move to the actions from this class, are there any comments, anything from your side? Okay, so moving forward to the actions from this class. Number one, always stay humble and establish justice when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you power and authority. Know that it is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We saw this in the story of Zulqarnain, who was given the power and authority, and he went through the west and conquered, and went through the east and conquered. However, he established the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he created almost an impossible wall between the two cliffs. Yet he associated it to the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not something that he himself did. It's not like he became arrogant. He said, no, this is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everywhere he went, he established justice. It's not like, oh no, I'm powerful and I will destroy everything and I will take the wealth and everything and I do the plundering that a lot of the armies do whenever they go for war, and there are lots of mishaps that happen. No, he said all those people who are wronging and they are cruel, they will be punished, and the others who are good, they will be rewarded. So that's how we have to establish whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us power or authority in whatever domain, in whatever scope, we should make sure that we are establishing justice of Islam and justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and trying our best not to wrong anyone. Don't be a disbeliever and take anyone as your protector besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no human being in this world who can share guidance against the guidance of Quran and the Hadith and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You will never follow them because they are also slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's slave. What we should do is establish a direct connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala versus thinking that a human being can save us. That a human being, if we follow them blindly, then on the day of judgment, they are the one who will save us. No, they cannot even save themselves. So it's very, very important that we also build our understanding of Quran and Sunnah and Hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and establish a direct connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ask him directly the solutions of any problems that you face in this world, and even ask him directly for everything for the hereafter as well. Don't be the biggest loser. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the greatest of the losers are those whose all their effort is for the life of this world. And while they do some good deeds, they think that, you know, they are doing some good deeds. While they do it for the show off and everything else. So they are not truly the righteous deeds that they are doing. So don't be amongst the greatest losers, or don't be a biggest losers, and just don't focus your life for this world. And we should, and because those people sometimes they think that we are doing so well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us so much and everything, and you know, they're trying to keep everything to themselves. They don't help others and everything, and they feel like even when they're helping, they're, you know, just so that, you know, he knows, and just sparing the change, as they say, that it doesn't even, you know, cause anything for you, and then you give it so that those people will still, you know, become your whatever they will start to. So we should always do everything and all righteous deeds to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not for any other intention. And finally, don't invent things in Islam. There are lots of inventions that have been created in our religion as well, and that can be a result of cross-cultural living and living with people of different religions, and sometimes things can get borrowed and everything. So make sure that you're following the guidance that is there in the Holy Quran and in the Hadith and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That should be our simple rule. So this marks the end of today's class. We are slightly early, almost completing time. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Purity belongs to Allah and all praise be to him. Purity belongs to you, O Allah, and all praise be to you. I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship besides you. I beg forgiveness from you and I repent before you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers. Inshallah, I will see you next week, same time.